Good morning or afternoon, wherever you are, American mothers. Moms all across America are listening. We're so excited about that. So, welcome to the Mom to Mom program, where we gather virtually every second and fourth Tuesday to listen to amazing speakers as they share their expertise on topics for moms. And every first, third, and fifth Tuesday is our podcast where we get to hear amazing moms again. So, don't forget to put us on your calendar and join every Tuesday at noon Eastern Time. Today, I'm super excited again to meet with Nek'ka Miguel. She's amazing. I've gotten to know her over the last few months, and you are going to love her presentation today. Welcome, Nek'ka.
Welcome. Thank you.
All right, awesome. So let me tell you a little bit about Nek'ka before we get started. First of all, Nek'ka is our Idaho 2023 Mother of the Year. So you know she's phenomenal. She was a single mom for 16 years, and to help single parents, she started her Anna Grace Foundation. And it's a foundation that helps single parents through personalized one-on-one meetings, life coaching. She has Zoom support group chats and in-person events for families. She has these amazing events that families come to and they feel supported. She's also an amazing author. She's authored 5 books, including about coming out of a poverty mindset, kind of similar to what we're going to be talking about today, and God's Fast, about spiritual fasting. She also has a book on Beginner's Guide to Homeschooling and 2 children's books. She speaks from coast to coast in the United States, and she's delivered speeches on the topics of prayer, faith, and her personal business and single mom journey. She has a Bachelor of Arts in Business Management. So, Nek'ka, thank you for joining us. Happy you're here. We're going to go ahead and let you get started. Everyone's excited to hear what you have to say.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. I hope you have your pencils ready and your brains ready to think about money. And so I want to share with you about money mindsets. And sometimes we already know what we want to think about money, but sometimes we might need to make a change. So I want to let you know that you can grow in your mindset about money, whether you're less or more endowed with finances. So we don't want to call ourselves poor or not poor. We're going to use the word endowed with finances. So today, I'm going to be sharing about how to change one's mindset about money, going beyond the limits, think differently about money, and money as a tool. So one of the other things that we're going to talk about as well is giving and saving and how that's essential in growing your money mindset. And also seeing financial opportunities. This can be very fun and fruitful, and also to still dream during any situation. So for my story, I got married when I was in high school, married my high school sweetheart, and we had a little boy, and he always wanted a little girl. And lo and behold, 14 years later, my son is 14, we had a little girl, and the very next year we had another girl. So um, we're about to enter 17 years of marriage, and my husband leaves. So he takes our son, and I am left with 2 babies in diapers and half the income. So I had a challenge, to be bitter or to be better about my financial situation and about life. And I'm sure you have situations in your life that happen with money, without money, just life happening, where you have a choice to be bitter or to be better. And so, with me having only half the income, I had to deal with the creditors. It was a lot of bills left over from the marriage. And in a way, when you're dealing with creditors, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It could be depressing or discouraging. Can you agree with that? Put a thumbs up, write yes in the chat. And we want to share with you some ideas so that we're not depressed and discouraged. And so, again, which do you choose, bitter or better? We want to choose to be better in our money mindset in all areas of life. So, here's a picture of my son, 15 years old, with my 2 babies in diapers, and as I'm beginning my journey as a single mom. So, bills still need to be paid, kids still need to eat and be clothed. And so, how would one have time to even think differently about money, to change one's money mindset? I mean, it's like life is just happening. no matter what. So I was challenged to stick to a budget in the middle of life happening. I had already started a budget in my marriage. And so as I began as a single mom, I just continued with writing a budget. And so one of the things that happened was it almost seemed silly to write a budget because there wasn't enough money to pay all of the bills. But writing the budget and being faithful about that every month, it gave me an idea of what I was up against. And so I was aware of my situation. Can you agree with that? Hey, put a thumbs up in the chat or type the word yes, because we want you to be aware of what's going in and what's going out. But also, if a windfall came your way, you would know where you want to place it because you know your budget. So this is a good tool to help with your money mindset. So I encourage you to budget in the midst of life happening. So it doesn't matter if you're less endowed with money or more endowed with money. Use a budget is helpful. So one big tip for changing your money mindset is being a giver. For me as a single mom, I didn't have money to give, but I did have time and energy. And so I helped around my community with my daughters. They were side by side with me, and we could help clean windows. We cleaned a church, and there had so many windows, but we were right there cleaning them. We were able to use our energy, our time to help someone else. We were giving. And then we could give food to people who are less fortunate than ourselves. My daughter had a habit of when we had new neighbors of baking cookies. She was a giver. She was learning how to give from what she had. So I encourage you to build that giving muscle. So here's a plate of food. If someone's sick, you can give a plate of food. You see the kids here, they're exchanging presents. So think about it as you're giving and sharing with your children about how to give, they might come to you and say, Mom, so and so's having a birthday and we need a birthday present. But if they have an allowance, shouldn't they be buying the present? Couldn't they buy something? So that was something that I share with my children is how to be a giver, how to buy little presents, how to think of others when they got their money. Saving. So when it came to saving, so I have two babies in diapers, I'm dealing with the creditors from divorce, and I didn't think that I could save. But building that saving muscle, it's like you have to start and do it regularly. So how much do you think I started saving? Put your answer in the chat. Come on. I know you can guess how much I started with. Let's see. The answer is revealed here, $5. So I started with $5 a month. And that began my saving muscle of saving every single month, no matter what. And for you, you might be able to save $20 or $100 or $1,000. But whatever it is, saving regularly is something that everyone can do. So I believe everyone can start somewhere. Can you agree with that? Start somewhere. So whether it's $1 to $1,000 or more, start somewhere. So we just want to encourage you to build your saving muscle. So once you decide on how much you want to save, it doesn't mean that it will never change because things happen in life. If you have to decrease it for a minute, still save something. But if you can increase it, this is something you want to look forward to is increasing your savings just a little bit at a time. And so committing to save regularly with every paycheck, with every gift, once a month, every other week. Can you do that? Can you say yes in the chat? See, we want agreement right here as you're listening to this about being a saver and building that saving muscle. Commitment is just so important when it comes to making a change in your money mindset if the change is needed. So giving and saving will help change your money mindset for the better. Now, this is not a talk on poverty, but we do want to define poverty. We want to define true poverty versus poverty in America standards. So here's a picture of someone in true poverty where there's no means to get more money, no change in sight. And true poverty is when someone cannot supply their basic needs, such as clean water, food, or have money to start a business. And so we want to make sure that we're not considering ourselves if in true poverty, if we do have clean water, we do have food and money to start a business or to save. If you look at the US Census Bureau in 2022, they said for an individual under 65 making 13,000 annually up and less, they were considered at the poverty threshold. And so for a family of four, it was around 26,000 a year. So 13,000 for an individual and 26,000 for a family of four. But there's still potential. And so I just want to be an encouragement here about your money mindset. So in looking at my story as a single mom, I was afraid to spend money to ride the bus. It only cost 65 cents to ride the bus, but it was like I was waiting for a rainy day, literally waiting for a rainy day. And then some rainy days, I thought, oh, it's not raining that much. I don't need to spend this 65 cents to go on the bus. And so it was a poverty mindset that was limiting me from using that 65 cents to ride the bus when I needed to. And so even though I had clean water, food, and $5 to save, I still needed to change my money mindset. So let's talk about your line. Sometimes we have a line that we need to cross before we can go further so that we can proceed in our mindset in growing in an area. And for me, that line of poverty was keeping me back. It was like the community was stopping me. My own thoughts were keeping me behind that line of poverty. It was so much so that when I went to a counselor to get a fee waiver, because I needed it as a single mom for my daughter to take the SAT, I was grateful for that fee waiver and I had to pay this $75 or $85 it was for her to take the test because that was not in my budget. And he promptly said before I left, now come back again next year because you'll probably be in the same situation when she wants to take the SAT in the 12th grade. And I went outside his door and I looked at my girls and asked them, who is he to decide that for my future? That's a year away. And here it is, the community deciding that me as a single mom would always be less endowed with finances. And why? Why do people do that to themselves and to other people? And so in my personal story, I was able to afford my daughter's SAT fee the next year, and I did not need his fee waiver. And so that poverty line was something I had to step over. And so is your line fear? It might not be poverty, but it might be fear. Are you afraid of success? Are you afraid of failure? Or are you afraid of risk? And when I talk about risk, I mean status quo. You don't want to risk things changing. You might be afraid that it might go worse versus it could go more positive. And so, what is your line, and are you able to be aware of what that is? And I can almost see some of the heads shaking because you're aware of what line you need to cross and what line that dares you to step over it. So contentment. Let's talk about contentment for a minute. So no matter what financial situation we are in, it's a good habit to learn how to be content. A wise man once said that he was content where he was, but not content to stay there. And that's good, but are we, while we're trying to be content, coveting others? Or do we enjoy what we have? And so contentment is so important, but to also dream inside of that contentment. So here you are, you're being content, you're grateful for the money you have, you're a giver, you're saving monthly, and now, can you dream inside of your contentment? Do I see any thumbs up out there? Any yeses in the chat? So Do you have a vision board, or do you have a list on your phone, for instance, of what you want when it comes to growing in your money mindset? Can you dream while practicing gratitude and happiness for where you are? I mean, I know it might be a stretch, but part of being content is to not complain about your status, but look for ways to improve and change it. So before we finish, I just want to recap just a little bit about how we have mentioned budgeting and sticking to a budget, having a discipline to budget in the midst of life happening. I mean, all kinds of things can happen. Friends can go away, move away, people die around us, kids grow up, they change, but we still need to stick to our budget. Can you be a giver? You know, whether it's the giver of your time and energy as well as your money. And then saving money, building that saving muscle, whether you're starting to save money or continuing to save money. And then we talked about so far the definition of true poverty versus America's standard of poverty. And then what line dares you to step over it. And so I want to encourage you to be content and to dream. And dream comes in many facets. You could dream of a bigger home or a nicer car or a more successful business or promotion, to name a few. And when it comes to some of these things, put some details on your vision board or on your phone when you write your list out of what you want. Let's say you want a 3-bedroom home or a 4-bedroom home. Put that down. For me, if I want a nicer car, I know I don't want it to be a white car. I'm not even particular about what color necessarily, but if I am, I put that in there. So I'm dreaming and I'm getting into the details of my dream. Have you considered multiple streams of income? So there, I had lots of opportunity to just like real short amount of time partner with other people in their dreams and doing some work for them part-time, because I was a single stay-at-home mom for 16 years. I was homeschooling my girls and I was able to take advantage of more opportunity as they got older, but I didn't work a public job. And so I had to grow in my money mindset. And one of the ways I did that was reading books. I took seminars about the money. And in these seminars, they gave different situations and they shared different stories. And it really helped make my mind stretch about what I could do with money and learning about money and money ventures. And so growing up, my parents did not teach me about money, but they did teach me how to count it. And I'm so grateful for it, because I know some of today's American schools don't teach about money. And I'm amazed at how some kids don't know what a nickel or a quarter is. So my parents did teach me that, but I didn't really learn about having a money mindset. So back to multiple streams of income. So let's say you have a job, but then you can have a part-time job. You can have an internet business. You can have seasonal work, like Christmas time. A lot of stores um, have work just for the Christmas season. You can have an investment account that's bringing in money, interest, high yield bank account. You can also make homemade items to sell. You see that all over Facebook, Instagram, Etsy, eBay. And then you can also sell products for other people. And this could also help change your money mindset, because now you're having to assign this extra money, if it's not just going to bills and creditors, what you're going to do with this extra money. So I encourage multiple streams of income, because when one dries up, the other might be still there. And I know that some people are against multiple streams of income and wanting to stay focused. But if you think about the basketball players or the baseball players, they're playing baseball, they're playing some sport, but then they do commercials. That's another multiple stream of it. That's a stream of income. And then they might open up a hospital or a bookstore or something like that, a car dealership. These are multiple streams of income besides them being a sports player. So it's really not that unusual. So when we think about money mindset, we're thinking personally of saving and being a giver, whether you're beginning or continuing. We're thinking about business-wise, seeing opportunities for multiple streams of income, and globally, seeing how to help others in and outside of your immediate family. As I was reading books and going to the seminars and hearing about the different stories about money, I started seeing potential when other people were talking about their money or they were talking about opportunities. And so my mindset started increasing and I wanted to participate in other people's dreams. And since I have been doing that in the past couple of years, it may be like they needed money to start something. And then later on, when the venture is up and running, they may invite me to participate and I'd be able to take part of the profit. And so sometimes when you have people with their dreams, just at the very beginning, you don't know where it's going. Then later on, as they do better and they have a different stream of income, they may invite you into that venture. And so now I am saving more, I'm giving more. And this allows me to give when people are experiencing crises and also to give to organizations doing good work. And so I've had the fortunate experience to be able to help people when, as I said before, when they needed a place to stay, when they needed extra food, when they needed gas in their car. But I would not have been able to do that without stretching my saving muscle. And so again, just want to stress, be aware of other people and what they're talking about and be able to participate in their dreams. And then later, it may be a help for when they're in their venture, they may invite you in. And so to recap, the lessons I on changing one's mindset was going beyond that limit, knowing what that line is for you. Is it a fear of failure? Is it a fear of success? Or is it a fear of risk? You just want things to stay status quo. And then thinking differently about money through education about money. I find that as I read one author about money, that the next author I read may take me to a higher plane about how I see money. And then the next author. And so I'm growing in my money mindset. And then see money as a tool, be a giver, save money monthly, and then see financial opportunities when talking to others. And then write down your dreams during any situation as you're going through life, whether it's good times or bad times. Sometimes when you're in the thick of it, you'll have some amazing thoughts, but don't let the crises get you so down that you don't write your dreams down. Write them down because they may come to pass. And you will be amazed at some of the things that could happen. And then you remember that you dreamt about it some time ago. And so I encourage you to grow in your money mindset, to personally in your life with savings and giving, business development using multiple streams of income, globally by sharing money and investing in others' futures. So again, my name is Nek'ka Miguel, and I am the 2023 Idaho Mother of the Year. My girls are grown now, and I wish you great success in a better money mindset.
Nek'ka, that was incredible. Oh my gosh, there were so many concepts that made me think about things in a different way. You know, we use language, and when you have a word or some way that you're phrasing something that helps people remember a concept, that is huge. So I loved the line, crossing the line. I love the idea that we are stretching our saving muscles, because it's just like any to be good at something, we have to exercise, we have to work on it. So that was really great. And one of the best things was seeing your personal journey where you went from being a single mom in that poverty situation that you found yourself in, and somehow you grew from that. And I saw you as you showed us the slide that said about the personal, the business, and global. I thought Nek'ka did just that. She took care of things personally, then she stretched so she could do the business, and then she stretched so she could do the global. So thank you for sharing these concepts, and especially for your example and your stories and that dream within your contentment. Oh my gosh, being content with what we have and being able to dream, because so often we're always focusing on what we don't have. Fantastic
Yes.
concepts. Thank you so very much for sharing your wisdom with us. That was just great. So everyone, thank you for being here with us today on our Mom to Mom program. And remember that we meet every Tuesday Eastern Time. First and third and fifth is the podcast. Second and fourth is our speakers. So for our podcast in the next couple of weeks, Deanne is going to be sharing messages from Mothers of the Year about being a mom. Basically, does a mother always know best? And I think moms would say, yes, they do. So join us for those. And then in 2 weeks will be our next speaker. We'll be having Emmylou Penrod join us, and she's going to be talking to us about contention. Now, we all know every family, every relationship has contention. And so she's going to talk to us about her Respect, RESPECT tool to help us to use those relationships and those contentious times and turn them into things that are tools so that we can grow and strengthen our relationships. It reminds me of the song RESPECT. Nika, you want to sing it? No.
No.
Anyway, so join us for that. And it's not too late to register for our National American Mothers Convention. It is a phenomenal conference. So get there if you can. You can register on our website, www.americanmothers.org. So thank you, mothers across the nation, for joining us today as we've connected, been inspired, and learned. And remember, until next time, you are not alone. You have a whole army of mothers all around you, all across the nation, cheering you on. You can do this. You got this. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for listening to today's show. If you like what you heard, subscribe so you can get your weekly dose of mom-to-mom encouragement. We understand that being a mother can be overwhelming, but we hope that you found something useful you can apply to your own life. We invite you to share this episode with a friend who might also enjoy the message. The mission of American Mothers is to support mothers, empowering them to positively impact their families and communities. We want each one of you to discover and share your innate, inherent, and natural abilities to bless your children and others.
The primary purpose of Mom to Mom is to educate and inform. The views, information, or opinions expressed during the American Mothers Mom to Mom are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of American Mothers Incorporated, its members, or employees. AMI is not responsible for, nor does it verify the accuracy of the information, nor does the series constitute any professional advice or services. We look forward to visiting with you one mom to another next week. Until then, just do your best at mothering. And remember, you're not alone. You've got an army of mothers all around you cheering you on.